Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The corrupt SEC has officially responded to Richard Hart and the legal case. I have it for you right now. The corrupt SEC have just responded. Yes, they are the corrupt SEC. Yes, they are corrupt. Let's go and see what they said. I have summarized all this boring legal jargon talk for you. It's all a bunch of BS. None of it has any grounds. Richard Hart's team, I've been informed by Corey Spaghetti Meatballs and Nuclear Herbs, which, man, what a username, by the way. Nuclear Herbs. They've apparently said that the legal team that he's using is like a superstar team. It's like 11 of the best lawyers. I mean, they could convince you of anything. So this is what you want to see. You want to see a strong team because that's what everyone's doing, friends. They're talking to a judge. They go, he said the capital word when he should have used the Batman emoji. What's going on? What did the actual SEC say? The SEC have said that, this is what I'm just telling you, just don't worry about the boring stuff, the juice. The juice is they've claimed that Uniswap is a United States trading platform. You see, that's what the SEC does because they're corrupt pieces of poop. Anybody who works for the corrupt SEC is also a corrupt piece of poop. I don't care if you're there to feed your family. You're working for a corrupt institution. I want to ask you this. Does the legal system give any leeway to the taxi driver of a drug kingpin? Do they? No. If you are the designated driver for one of the drug kingpin overlords, doesn't matter, you got to feed your family. They don't care. You go in jail. You're complicit. So it's the same thing going on here. Now, if you're from the corrupt SEC, this is the type of trash that they've been saying. Absolute trash. Look, friends, of course, I want to get rid of the scamsters too. But I've never, in my life, seen anything like crypto. In terms of, wait a minute, there are 40,000 people supporting a movement of a tiny little subculture altcoin. 40,000 people signatures, plus 200,000 people in the community. 200,000 people. And I'm sure if the green candles keep going up, we can make that 1 million people. Wink, wink. If you're listening out there, quack, quack. So this is the type of bogus stuff that the corrupt SEC is putting forward. It's absolutely trash. No, Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, and it's on Ethereum, which is international. All around the globe. There are nodes all around. It's hosted everywhere. You don't know who's authorizing your transaction, do you? You don't know who's sending you the transaction for the mining or the validator or whatever the hell jargon they want to use. Also, they've also claimed, look at the next corrupt claim. They've claimed a reasonable investor would have wanted to know about Richard Hart's direct misappropriation of investor funds. Now, last I checked, even with my own friends and family, last I checked, it ain't an investor fund, and there was no misappropriation because as far as I'm concerned, you and I weren't told what they're appropriately used for. It was a sacrifice. You literally get given no idea, no hint, no roadmap. Vitalik is a 4,000 IQ alien. He literally, on the eve of New Year's, Christmas, a few weeks ago, he released an updated roadmap for Ethereum. A roadmap. What does that tell you? There's a road and there's a map. There are directions. There's a leader. How does that work out? You know how that works out, friends. Look, I love Ethereum. I love Vitalik. I love aliens, okay? But you know why it works out? It's because JP Mosquito and Goldman Slugs, a Bank of Ants and Citybug, all of the bug eaters, they have now had enough time to send their little cronies, the scum who work there with their slick gelled back hair and their striped shirts, they've given them enough time to research top down, what is Ethereum? All its code. Are there any backdoors? Can the chain be paused? How does privacy work? All of it. And they are now happy with their confidence in Ethereum. They are happy of what they see. What they see is an opportunity for the giant octopus to strangle the necks of everybody in the ecosystem. Ethereum is slowly becoming compromised, but that's a word, that's a marketing word. It's just that the market cap's getting so big, it's becoming more blue chip. It's like Bitcoin. That's just the game, friends. If we want to onboard the rest of the world, you got to remember, we are the bleeding edge people. You're literally watching a dude in a cork hat, okay? You're literally watching someone in a cork hat, friends. We are the bleeding edge. And then the people who come in at the end, I love Uncle Peter Schiff, who watches the channel, friend of the channel, but yes, it's Uncle Peter Schiff at the very end. He's like, you Bitcoin guys, you crypto guys, it's worth shit. You know, that type of dude. When he will have to use crypto for a transaction in the future. Maybe he's like electricity company. He's like, hey man, pay us in like this crypto stuff. And he's like, no man, I'll pay you in ounces of gold. That's the future. And we don't even have to guess. This is what happens today, friends. Mums and dads, grandmas, grandpas, they're on Facebook. Facebook was the cool thing. Hey, let's look at my boobies. That's what Facebook was like meant to be. And now it's just like, happy birthday to my niece out there. I want to wish you 15 candle emoji cakes. And by the way, friends, I want to show you, you know what made me laugh once? I was watching Sir Ivan the Great. I almost rolled off my chair laughing. And he had this moment of realization. He goes, how come everyone's like older parents and grandmas and grandpas, the grandmas mostly, right? How come whenever they're on Facebook and they reply to our gifs and our photos and videos, firstly, they share things like multiple times, okay? Mum. Also, when they reply, they have like giant hearts and they look like this. There's just giant hearts and just churchy religious stuff, and there's always like sparkles, and they just do like, where do you find these gifts? I want to know, where is this catalog of these glitter fairy, kissy, like Jesus cross type emojis stuff? Like, where do they lurk? Who makes these things? They're like 1994 GeoCity stuff. There's like, it's an ancient art, this thing, and for some reason, Mum's got all of them. It was funny. Ivan talking about his grandma, right? God bless her. It's the funniest thing ever. I couldn't believe. I just thought it was. Oh, I thought it was unique to me. No. Apparently it's going out there everywhere. It's a revolution out there. So, friends, that's the end of the technology wave. You know, the grandmas and the gifts and stuff. Yes, crypto is eventually going to be like that. It's going to be like, for example, there are no like internet maxis on the internet. You know, but I love the internet. Like, get a load of that weirdo. You know what I mean? That's probably where it's all eventually going. It's just that we're in the then they fight you phase. There's friction. There's the corrupt SEC working with the bug eaters. And now that they're happy with the stranglehold they can have on Ethereum. They're like, okay, we understand it. We know what's going to happen. So that's why don't be surprised if you're going to see more chains connect to it, private and public. That's why, friends, I'm long Chainlink, right? The pain link, because they're in cahoots with Swift, the CCIP tech. That's how the system's going to work. Chainlink has all the data. And that's where everyone, all the developers and all the tokenization real world assets, they grab them from the price oracle here. So all JP Morgan and everyone else and all the other mosquito bug eaters, when they have a look at all the other chains, it's too complicated for them. It exponentially, they don't have enough manpower. And because remember, friends, everyone's working for an expensive salary. So they're just like, hey, let's route everything through one. That's probably how the world's going to look. Okay, so that's the future going on. That's why we're in this growing pains type of area, which is what we want. This is the growth, okay? So you can see, right, the corrupt SEC and this claim about the investor funds and everything going on, you can see the game going on. You can see all these bogus claims. Also, another one, they claimed Richard Hart spent, it's even less percent than this, 0.8% of the PulseChain sacrifice funds to buy a diamond, buy a car, blah, blah, blah. I want to ask you this, friends. Do you really care? Because I told you right now, friends, on the chart, I can literally show you right now. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, golly gee, like, you know, I wish things were higher. Yeah, me too. I just want to let you know, okay. On this day, friends, on this day here, the PulseChain sacrifice, when it bought Sir Ivan the Great and Coin Bureau's USDC that they just let go of, it made, I think, about 12 million. Okay, so, I mean, it's a bit funny that the number's around 12 million. Now, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, because I'm saying there is no, it's neutral. It's none of your business. Like, I want to ask you, shout out to Johnny Chaos for this example, such a great example. He says, when you trade on an exchange like Binance or Coinbase or your own local country exchange, Do you go email customer support saying, what did you do with the fees when I bought this coin? You took 0.1% fee. I put $100 in. You took 10 cents. Where did you put that money? It's not yours. It's in the economy. This is a market. Money goes moving back and forth. That's it. It goes around and goes in cycles. And yeah, that's it. This is our risk. Our risk is that it just kind of doesn't work out. That just kind of fizzles out. That's our risk. But what's the reward if it does work out? The reward is that the spinning of the cyclical nature of that market, right, the economy moving in, that's what we are. Digital cybernetic hornets, that's digital real estate, right? Digital New York real estate, digital economies. You're hoping that there's a positive momentum, the flywheel, if you will. Well, that's the cycles, friends. That's why it is, right? It's not collapsing to zero. We're making higher lows over time with this tech. So you get to see all this picture painted. And all right, the Corrupt SEC doing their bogus claims. Also, shout out to Bitcoin Lobo, Mr. Sir here. Thank you very much for doing this post immediately as well. So Panos, shout out to my boy Panos. So looking at that, you're faced with basically there's a split in the path. Do you hold them or do you fold them? Well, luckily for you, friends, I'm here to issue you an official warning. Now, if you've been watching me for a long time, I know the neighbors love watching me get undressed, you weirdos. I don't give time-sensitive things often at all. Very rare. Like, I never go time-sensitive. This is actually it. Because most of the time, it ain't actually time-sensitive. Most of the time, everything's fade the news, pump and dump. It's coming back most of the time. It changes now, though. Start the clock. I got confidence because this happened with Painlink. And I just want to show you when Painlink flipped green on the weekly SuperTrend here. Look what it did, okay? It flipped green, and then it had these 2 weeks of red, and then we're off to the races. Now, I'm not saying we are going to do the same thing, 2 weeks, and then pump up. But flipping green on the weekly SuperTrend is very significant. It is very hard to fake that out. Very hard. You need a lot of money. You can see, right? I mean, PulseChain Sacrifice Wallet putting in $20 million net in, like $6 million, then $8 million, total like 20 moving in. Yeah, so you're gonna need to find $20 million of weak hands who have sat through all that pain, who go, I'm all out for a 2x from like 3 weeks ago, when they're right on the cusp of a bull market. Not happening, friends. Basically, everyone's like looked at each other and they said, nah, we're not selling, man. Get out of here. Right? We owed way a lot more, friends. There's the same thing in every single market, okay? So if you are sidelined, that's why I'm just telling you, this is a time-sensitive signal. I don't know what happens next, but usually it pops around, pulls back in a bit. It's just you're running out of time. It's not up only, guaranteed. Maybe, hope it is. But it's not, yeah, you're not going to have this luxury of, sweet, I'll just get the next round of FUD. Like, they've thrown everything at us now. Minus 99% Hex couldn't even kill it. If you're sidelined, you're going to have to get that first pullback. After that, though, you are in momentum land, Momo land, where the risk reward for holding starts getting too chaotic. Now, what do I mean by too chaotic? It means, well, just think about this, all right? Right here, for example, let's say you're buying in at day one sack. You can risk 1 unit, it goes to 0, or you can make 10 if it goes to flip Eric. Or even better, you can make 20 if it doubles Eric. So think about that. You've risked 1 to make 10 to 20. Isn't that pretty good? I think that's pretty good. I think, look, not financial advice, go buy bonds, friends. I'm a guy in a core cat. Got to remind you, very straight posture though. If you're risking 1 to make even 10, that's beautiful, friends. Like, I'm just like, when you have such a high probability in your mind of something working. Now, I'm not pleased, for the love of God, don't do this, but maybe you should. The way to think about it, remember, is with your time and your wages. So if you have 6 months of your entire living costs invested in, like, let's say some people, for example, friends, they need 30 grand per year to live, whatever. If you have 15 grand in PulseChain and then, or whatever it is, and then this thing gives you a 20x. Okay, 20 times your 6 months invested. Now you have 10 years of living. Isn't that wild? If you just keep it the same. And now you can like build your base for the next one. But you might even up the ante here. You go, okay, what if I invested 1 year of living costs? No. What if I up the ante more? What if I invested 1 year of my entire salary. See, obviously you're up in the risk. You're up in the risk. But if it works out, man, if it works out, friends, like there are some people out there, okay, you're making $50,000 a year and you're living, right? So if you're able to get a 10x, you make 10 years. If you make 20x, you get 20 years. That's literally a retirement. That's a retirement. You live off the yield and then it will grow in the next cycle. Yeah, you got to like, you know, you can't like blow out for the next 4 years, but it's better than making zero, you know? So that's what we're looking at here. That's down here though. That's down here, friends. See, but once you start, so if we start going up, okay, let's say it starts going up, sideways, and you start to go here. If you are now buying up here, look at this. You are now risking 1 unit, but to the target, you're going from like a 6 to 20. That's a 3x. You see that? You're risking 1 for 3. Is it worth putting a year's worth up there? Well, here's the thing. It's going to feel like it's worth it because you're going to feel amazing. Because I promise you, the news is going to be great. PulseChain has an ETF. Johnny Chaos got a hex tattoo on his neck. You know, all this like stuff. We're going nuts, okay? Coinbase lists PulseX. So these types of news come out there. And as you know, like, ugh, it sounds a bit counterintuitive, right? But yes, it's exactly the point. That's why you don't wait for that good stuff, friends. You don't wait for Richard Hart to defeat the corrupt SEC. You don't wait for Coinbase to list PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex. You don't wait for Richard Peng, the successor to Changpeng Zhao, which is CZ. You don't wait for them to start thinking about, hey, should we put like PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex on Binance now? You don't wait for that moment. Not financial advice, by the way. Okay. You buy the blood. Buy when Ansem and Taiki are going, you bought Hex, it's a scammer! You buy that moment, which is literally December 14th, a month ago, okay, when I made the video and I showed everybody, okay? That's when you buy. Not when I'm on crypto banter in 18 months and they're going like, golly gee, how did you get it? Wow, you've really grown out of nowhere. Yeah, and I've got to say, yeah, all of you didn't follow me before? We got to dump on you. I'm dumping on all of yous, okay? You better bring a lot of toilet paper and some face towels and some aloe vera because it's going to sting. Aloe vera for me, by the way. That's the end goal, friends. You've never heard that before. That's why I'm blowing your mind right now. No, like blowing. It's a family-friendly show. Like, subscribe. That's opposite to what you've been hearing. What has everyone been saying instead? Buy when it feels better. Buy when there's more clarity coming out there. That's how people end up on Coinfessions Wrecked. But you are going to end up as my friend. Catch you soon.